holes for today. Some bolt holes through this. Some temporary bolts in there to hold that. Get the shelf brackets on this side. Get the shelf in. Some furniture, maybe even the French cleat to go on here. Alright, I got my shelf support here for this side. I'm going to start by wood gluing it onto the leg, and after clamp it in place, after it sets up, we'll drill the rest of the holes the rest of the way into the board behind to support it. Using 1/4-inch screws to go through. These are 1/4-inch holes, so it will not grab on this piece of material. And we'll do a small hole into that leg, and that will support it. I already have a line marked where I want this to go. Alright, so yesterday we got this board on here. It's hard to see from the image, but it is cut with a 45 on the bottom of it for a French cleat. It was kind of a pain in the butt to put on because it was fairly warped, which I knew going into it, but out of the lumber that I milled, it was the only one that was really going to fit well for that purpose, which is fine, I can deal with that. When I installed it, I started down on this end, put a couple pockets, screws in here, attached it here where I wanted it, and then there's a bracket underneath, which we'll see if I can show here in a second. There's the bracket, securing it, and then just attached it where I needed to as I worked my way down. By the time I got here, the board was starting to bow out pretty good. I wound up using a ratchet strap down on this end, pull it back in, finish securing the brackets, and then 2 pocket screws at the end. It's good and secure now. We also got the supports for the shelf installed, got the shelves installed. I decided to do pocket screws as well here with wood dowel fillers. Unfortunately, they are, I believe, plain. It's some sort of a soft wood, which made sanding them smooth really easy because obviously the material went away from the soft wood a lot faster than it did from the shelf. get them glued in, everything retreated with the tried and true finish. Today my goal is to get these new hinge blocks installed. I'm waiting for some screws to come in that are 4.5 inches long, 1/4 20. None of the local hardware stores had any, so that I can bolt down through. Once that comes in, I'm going to get the front door reinstalled. I've got a little bit of a modification to do to that. And then I'm going to need to build the piece that runs along here as a filler. Once that's done, we've got latches that'll go on here. And then I intend to add a gas strut to support the door. Let's see how we make out. Alright, here's my update for today. The headboard's looking pretty good. This is the front side of it. I need to get a piece in for up here. I had to rework the way this door swings several times. Originally it was just going to be a flat panel, kind of like down here. And we had some design changes, so trying to rework that while hiding the hinges was quite the challenge. In hindsight, I wish I had just not hidden the hinges and put them on the exterior. It would have made it way easier to have that swing without colliding into anything. But that's what we got. I have these 2-inch spacer blocks on here. They got installed yesterday. I had to get special ordered 1/4 20 bolts in order to get the right length that I wanted. I didn't want to go up in size because of the holes in the hinges. So those got in yesterday, got that installed. I still need to get different size bolts for this here. And then the last thing that I have is the gas strut for this door. The size that I ordered was a little too long, which is fine. I'll hold on to them. It's 15 inch, it's fairly common. I'll find a use for it in the future. So the goals for today are to get this gap here filled, then get the back on and move it into the house. My guess is it's weighing somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 pounds at this point, so moving it's going to be quite the challenge. Alright, before I close it in, here's the back of the headboard. You can see it's still missing the bolts in the bottom piece here, but I can add them in later, no problem. Everything else is good to go. It's where I want it to be. I'm going to put this piece of plywood that's cut down here. It's already treated. That's going to go on the back, and then we're going to weigh it and we're going to move it inside. Alright, here's the finished look of the headboard. Super excited to get this into the bedroom and start using it. I do have Anker chargers that are going to run up onto that bottom shelf to keep our devices charged. If I were to do this over again, there's a few things I would have done differently. I definitely still would have wanted to accentuate the roughness of the maple and keep as much of that live edge as possible, which I'm really glad I have that. I went wide with this cap up here, and I love that. What I don't like is that in order to put this swing out cabinet in with the way I did the hinges, I had to then pad everything out and build this in here. I would have totally redesigned that. Overall, I love the dovetails, even with the roughness of it coming together like that. I really like it. I like the rough hardware. The maple planed out nice. It sanded out super smooth, and then that tried and true finish with beeswax in it made it such a smooth, nice feel. It's 70 inches tall. I'm gonna put it on a scale here and see what it weighs in just a minute. My guess is in the neighborhood of 300 pounds.